Hey guys, welcome back to 702 Motoring in Las Vegas. I know everybody's been thinking, where are the guys at 702 Motoring? Where are the guys at? Where are the guys at? Well, you know what? We're in the middle of so many different jobs right now. It's mind-boggling. But we're gonna go over real quick this pretty badass painted Road Glide right here. But I tell you what, I love to cut some 6x9s out of them lids right there and add those lids to my collection right here. I would just love to add that to my collection. Ooh, look at that. Can you believe we cut that? Look at that. That was some really nice CVO. I need to post that bike. Anyways, guys, this is a beautiful Road Glide. Just came back from Sturgis not that long ago. And, yeah, it is, just like many of you guys do. You get that sound system installed out there in those one-day installs. And a lot of people say they can do it. And it can be done. We can do it too. We can do it too. So, not going to mention the shop's name because that's irrelevant. But what happens is when you guys want to slam out a bike, keep in mind these guys are out there slamming out bikes per day. They're not trying to put a whole bunch of quality into your install. Unfortunately, this customer here, he's paying for it. He's paying for it right now. So basically, what they did, they went out there. He got a Diamond Audio amp and a Diamond Audio MP654 speakers in the fairing. Of course, that one was blown. Maybe the radio's not flash. Maybe it is flash. I'm not sure. We're going to figure that out here in a minute. But one thing's for sure, he's got a crack in his GTS radio. The shop did that. They cracked the radio. I don't know how you cracked a GTS radio, putting an amp and some speakers in, but they did. So that's a pretty big hit right there. So he was under the impression he was getting a Diamond Audio Micro 4V2 4-channel amp. So he's got a 2-channel amp right here, 2V2. And this is one thing we really do not recommend double-sided tape, Velcro, anything like this on the bottom of an amplifier. And this is a classic example of why. For one, it's not even placed evenly, as you can see. It's all, and this is stuck. Well, first of all, when we pulled the fairing and the headlight out, it was just jumping around in there. It wasn't even mounted. And if they were mounted to the bottom of the radio, and if you look, how's that even possible when you've got a 1/4-inch gap from the frame to the radio? So it wasn't a good surface to start off with. And more importantly, you got the serial number to the radio, and you have all the information to the radio, and you're going to put double-sided tape against it. And just as bad is, look at that. That's your serial number to the Diamond Audio amp. So if this customer ever has a problem, he's not going to have any warranty on the amplifier because the serial number is going to be removed and it's not going to be visible. It's going to be destroyed when he takes it off. So, just get an amp rack, guys. Road Glide amp rack. Fits underneath the radio, holds everything perfectly. Everything's good to go. Going further from that point on, the high level input into the radio, at least they didn't cut any factory Harley wires. So I give the shop props for that. But on the Diamond Audio amplifiers, they recommend a plug and play radio to RCA harness that has load resistors in it to balance out the radio outputs going into the Diamond Audio amplifier. And that's not here. It's just a fabricated converter going right into the speaker pods. So, it's not for engineering. It'll work, not the way I would do it, but it'll work. The power wire, it is 8 gauge, so it is the right gauge. It appears to be a Harley power wire kit of some type. I don't know the brand. There's no name on the wires. The wire is a hard wire, meaning it's not real flimsy like a high quality wire. We use this is a T-Spec, which is made by Metra or XS. It's a V12. There's top of the line copper, all copper, oxygen free, OFCC, oxygen free copper cable. V12. It's the real deal. On the cable we use, we don't cut any corners, guys, at all. And every bike we do, we're using this cable, whether it's an 8 gauge if the amp requires an 8 gauge, or a 4 gauge if the amp requires a 4 gauge. I know some of you are thinking right now, it's nice not to have some Tom McDonald playing right now, huh? It's okay, I understand. I feel you. But it's okay because Tom McDowell's got a brand new song coming out this Friday, and there's a 2022 Road Glide ST right there. We're going to save that for Tom's new song. But I would like to cut these. I mean, that would be a nice addition to my... I put it right next to this one here. I put it right on this side here. It'd be a nice selection. Anyways, guys, getting back to this bike. Power wire, it's a hard cable. It's not a real soft cable, so I'm would think it's not a high quality cable. It's got a 50 amp fuse. Okay, the Diamond Audio Micro 2 V2 takes a 25 amp fuse, so you double the power on the fuse. So if you were to have an issue, the fuse is not going to blow, so it's going to take its destruction out somewhere else, and it usually could be the power wire burning, and that's something we definitely don't want, especially on a beautiful bike like this. I mean, check out those wheels. I mean, this thing this is a sexy ass bike. Candy apple red. I mean, I tell you what, red and black just looks so good. I dig it, totally dig it. So they put the MP654s. This one is bad. Of course, with a 2-channel, you can't separate your horns from your mids, and here's a classic example of it. Well, I would have put the crossover outside of the speaker pod so it's not rattling, or it's a lot of extra stuff to be in that pod, and it's taking away some airspace. So I'd put this on the outside of the pod. But, you know, when you get something like this, you know, your wires aren't soldered. It's a lot of potential for a bunch of different issues to occur. And they heated up the pod. And yes, you can heat up the pod. We prefer to cut the pod and put a piece of sound deadening material over it. That way, because when you heat up the pod, you've got to force a speaker inside the pod to form the heated up spot. So you're stressing the basket and the voice coil. And, you know, yeah, you can do it. It's best if you don't. A happier speaker, non-stress, is going to give you happier sound. Of course, this one didn't last very long, and these are good speakers. On top of that, when this cools down, it's going to cool right back down on the magnet. So it's always going to have a stress. It's always going to have some pressure on that magnet, you know, which is all connected to your voice coil, you know. So, again, if you cut it, put a piece of soundproof material over it, you deaden it, the magnet's not resting on any plastic that's cooled down and heated up, resting back on the magnet right there. You know, I don't know, but you know, you can see where they pounded it out. But it's Sturgis, you know, they're doing the stuff fast, and this is what you're going to get. This type of install you're going to get. You know, unfortunately, it's going to come back here. I like to use a 4-channel on mids and horns, so I can tune my horns separately from my mids. You know, this is great. You could do this. Neither way is right or wrong. But understand, this horn is going to want different amount of power going to it than this mid-range. And in this configuration, you're going to have your power turned down a little bit so you don't overpower your horn and blow your horn, meaning your mid's not going to get as much power. And then again, you know, like I say, your frequency, your gain is going to be the same for both. So even those DSP guys, you know, you're going to have to separate your channels. Your horn's got to run separate from your mids. Regardless, we'll give the customer the options. An amp rack for sure. You know, the wire, I mean, not trying to put a whole new system in this bike. I wouldn't mind cutting them lids though, them beautiful stripes. But yeah, the customer does not want his lids cut, and I can't blame him. These are really some sex. I mean, this is, man, you don't even feel it. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. Candy apple red, the way it's nice. So, got digital gauges. Gonna take the GTS radio out. Gonna put a SoundStream reserve in because, I mean, at this point. So, guys, just be cautious of those one-day installs. Be cautious of and the price wasn't like low or anything. It was like what the pricing should be on the bikes, what I would have charged to do the job. I would have just given a 4-channel, not a 2-channel. So, once again, guys, this is the bike for the night. The beautiful Road Glide, back from Sturgis, ripped apart, blown speaker, wiring issues. We'll just take it from there. Next one being done is, well, I got 2 being done here. We got a nice Street Glide right here. Sound Digital 800.4. Look at all the wiring. It's beautiful. The wiring is artwork, guys, artwork. Diamond Audio MP MS Pro 65 mids, horns, and the custom grills that we do. In the front, aquatic HS, detachable face, Bluetooth waterproof radio, Diamond Audio MS Pro 65 mids and lowers, and nothing in the rear. So 1-800.4, 2 channels run the horns, the rear 2 channels run all 4 mids all day long. And a high voltage RCA output HS radio. 22 ST. This is the ST, guys. This is the bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. So, yep, we're going to Diamond Audio mids and horns and the grills up here. We're going to cut them lids. I'm going to add some, I'm assuming, Destroyer Gray to my stack right here. I don't know if I have Destroyer Gray. Probably close. Single sound digital 800.4. Flash your radio. You know how we do it. All right, guys. 702 Motoring Las Vegas. Sexy bikes, sexy bikes, sexy bikes.